Hello friends, Julie Sawchuk here. I am live with you in my fitness space with my awesome friend Sarah Foley. Welcome to Building Without Barriers Live, Sarah. I'm so excited that you're here. So if you don't know Sarah, she is the person that has changed my body, even all the way from Hawaii, where she used to be. She's just come off a move. Geez, ladies and gentlemen, would you believe that she moved from Hawaii to Utah? Anyways, she's getting settled. I'm so excited that you're here, Sarah. Welcome. We are going to be talking about accessible fitness today. And I don't want you to think, oh, accessibility, blah, 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 right? This applies to absolutely everybody. And one of the things that I have been thinking about a lot this week in particular is that everybody can do this. Everybody can move their bodies and change the way they feel, and it doesn't have to be complicated. So if you are watching and listening today and you have some questions that you want to ask, or what would be fun is if you could just tell us where you are watching from. That would be awesome too. So Sarah, tell us how you were able to get into my head and make me change the way I move my body. That's a big question.
That is a big question. Let's start with a bang, shall we, Julie? The biggest thing is that you showed up ready. And, it's one thing when, I get someone that's like, oh, I would like to buy this service or this program for my daughter, to help her get in shape or whatever. I'm like, well, did your daughter ask for it? Because if she didn't, you might be wasting your money. And I hate to even say that, but it really takes people showing up ready. And then it's like game on. And you showed up ready. And so, but the thing is that sometimes we have to find a really big source of either pain or motivation to get us to a space of ready. Transformation comes from desperation or inspiration. And that
I think I was in a bit of both places when we got started.
That's when you know you're a winner. Okay. Yeah. So when you've got something that it's like, no more, never again. I'm never going to try and put that dress on again and not have it zip. I'm never going to cancel on my friends because I don't feel good in my skin. I'm never going to, sign up for Match.com and then quickly cancel again because I don't feel good about myself. All of those things, like when you find that place of pain, it's actually really beautiful because then you know that transformation is around the corner. Or on the other hand, it can come from inspiration where it's like, oh my gosh, I saw someone's physical transformation and that can be me. I know that can be me. I'm so inspired by their story. Game on. But when you can find a little bit of both, that's even better.
Let's talk about that physical transformation, because when I was in both places last year when we met. I was in this place of too much nerve pain, tried everything to try and figure out how to quell that and was getting no results. Plus, by happenstance, I came across you and I saw your physical transformation. And we talk about wheelchair tummy. So this group of women that our disability icons, like we all know, and everybody who uses a wheelchair knows about wheelchair tummy. Can you talk about your physical transformation? Because that was what made my mind blown.
Absolutely. So mine came from that place of pain. Before my injury, I was a gym rat. I loved going to the gym, loved it. And I loved kickboxing and all kinds of I loved the aerobics classes. I may have dressed up as an 80s aerobics instructor for way too many Halloweens. But that was such a part of my life. And then the accident happened and I was terrified to go back into a gym. Terrified. I didn't want people to stare at me. I didn't know how to use the equipment sitting down. I was so terrified. And so much so that I started driving through the parking lot of, the gym that was near my house. This is when I was in Maui, and I would just drive through the parking lot and be like, today's the day. No, I'm terrified. And I would drive. And I just kept doing that over and over and over. And then one day and I guess so the pain started building up. So living in Hawaii, you're always in a swimsuit, and the wheelchair tummy was like really getting to me. And I felt like I was 7 months pregnant. I looked it was like this big roundness. I had always dreamed of having like really toned and sculpted arms. And I just was getting further and further and further away from that. And it was really affecting my confidence. I hated going out, and, I would put on the clothes that I thought would look good. And then I would get them on, look in the mirror and be like, that doesn't look good at all, And so all of this pain was starting to build up. And then it just so happened that my little 2-year-old broke his foot. He was running across these little rocks and twisted it and just got this little hair fracture. And so he was going to daycare at the time, and he had to get into a cast. And I had to keep a 2-year-old off of his foot for 6 weeks. So it was horrible, but I had this little chunk of money that would have been spent on daycare. And I thought, I'm going to buy a personal trainer. Like, enough is enough. All the stars are aligning for me. And I drove through the parking lot and I was like, go, 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 go. And I got out of the car. I was trying to talk myself out of it the whole time. But I thought, if I've got a trainer who can show me what to do, and then I don't have to look like an idiot, he can show me the ways, or she can show me the ways. And I don't, like, all of those fears can now go away. The looking like an idiot, the people staring at you, not knowing people in the gym, all those kind of things. And so I went in there and I said, I need someone that's going to kick my ass. I need someone that can get creative with me. And I need someone that can really like get me results. And they said, I know just the guy. And around the corner came Jake, and he's 6'7", and in the wheelchair. I'm like maybe 4'1", 3'8".
That's not intimidating.
Yeah, I've never even measured myself, but I just looked up and I was like, I am so in for it. Like, oh gosh. So, and we went right to work. And awesome. First things first, when you start any kind of program, you got to come up with your goals. And they got to be goals that when you think of them, they stir your stomach, right? Mm-hmm. You get so excited about thinking that end result. And I want to give permission to everybody watching today to just let go. If you feel like it feels vain, if you feel like it feels silly, if you're like, no one will understand that goal, it doesn't matter.
Do you remember what I said to you? The very first email that I emailed you when we connected, and I said, muscles are sexy.
Muscles are sexy.
Right? Oh, and that's been my goal, right? Like shoulders, arms, it just feels sexy. Okay, there's a couple of people that are watching. I just want to tell you that they're here. Chris is watching from London. Yay, Chris. And Seek Smith from Phoenix right now, but based in Los Angeles.
I'm part of Badass Do-Gooders, and she is the one that created it. Seek, thank you so much for watching.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about not making things complicated, right? And having goals is one thing, but being able to set yourself up. This is my workout space. This is how not complicated it is, right? I have stretchy bands attached to the wall in 3 places. One up high, one at shoulder height, and one at foot height. What do you do?
So I'm not even as complex as that. I will put mine into a door and close the door. I've done that. I've done it on the base of a piano leg. Yep. I've done it on a table leg. I have done it on my actual wheelchair. And there are parts of the workout plan for Disability Icon where we'll actually hook it onto our chair at different parts. So, even to some that could be a little intimidating, but because it's set, she has a very set workout space in her home. Don't let that even intimidate you. If you're like, I got to work out in my living room because that's the only place, and it's, I've got a big family or whatever, fine. Set up the band when you're ready, take it down when you're not. Make it easy and doable for you. Even better though, if you can find a spot where it's always hooked up, and even when you're using your dumbbells, make sure that you are storing them at a place that is eye level, because
See it every time
on your mind.
Yeah. So this is a very recent setup for me. I did this, well, my husband did it for me maybe 2 months ago. And I've been doing Sarah's program for about 8 months now. So up until just recently, I have been attaching my stretchy bands wherever and using my free weights. And that was working, but I needed to up my game. I needed to have the different angles of attachment to work different muscle groups and to get, I want to get into those little muscle groups and do those little movements that create more tone and do the sculpting, because I'm ready to sculpt. Like that's those sexy muscles need to just pop, right? That's
a really good point about the angles. You know, in the program, like there's one day where you literally do like upper chest, mid chest, and lower chest. And people are like, do I really need to do all three? And I say, well, do you really want to sculpt your muscles? Because yes, you do. You have to do all angles of a muscle to get that sculpt, to get the rounded out, to get the crevices, to get the definition. Like you really do want to do all different angles. So, you know, in the beginning, so to kind of take everyone through a little bit of what we're talking about, Disability Icon was created because I posted my transformation of 6 and 12 weeks. And so to go back to, I started with my trainer, and I had 3 very specific goals. I wanted definition in my arms. I wanted to wear a 2-piece bikini with confidence, and I wanted to do 1 pull-up. So with those goals is then when you start to sculpt your plan. Mm-hmm. So if your goal is to transfer without a transfer board, that's going to be a little bit different than someone that wants to do a pull-up, right? Yet we're still working and toning and working out the entire body. So I started working out with a trainer. I went all in. My diet changed. My lifestyle changed. My mindset changed. While I was working out with Jake, we were talking about business. We were talking about entrepreneurship. We were talking about confidence. We were talking about all of these things, which kept me going, kept me excited to show up, because the conversation was different, right? The conversation wasn't just about losing weight. It was like this overarching change of my life and change of my business and change of who I could impact. Little did I know that the way to impact was actually through what I was doing at the time. It's really kind of beautiful and full circle. So I had a very quick transformation because I went all in. And when you go all in, you get all in results. So I posted this picture, and I literally woke up the next morning, about 300 Instagram comments and personal messages saying, what did you do? Please show me the ways. How the heck did you get rid of your wheelchair tummy? And that was the big one, wheelchair tummy, over and over and over again.
Over and over again.
We got to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't do anything, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Nothing's going to change that parabelly until you make the shift to change. So the program began. We're like, we got to put this out there. We got to start putting it out. And the program has since evolved numerous times to now it is a really simple and easy to use app. Every day you look, you see what your workouts are. They're laid out. You've got a tutorial video of me doing the actual workout from my chair. Like there's no question of how to do the workout. You plug it in and you keep going. And that's your accountability, because everyone else in the group sees when you check in. And then every Monday we get together as a group and we have those conversations. We're talking about entrepreneurship. We're talking about confidence. We're talking about all the things in between.
Yeah, diet and sleep. And we get talking about all sorts of things. UTIs and everything, right? Like everything's on the table. And the accountability piece for me has been super helpful when things were like pretty gray in the wintertime. One of my goals was to get outside every day, and no matter the weather, right? There's no such thing as bad weather. There's just bad clothing. So you just gotta prepare. But in remember,
time, because now I'm in Utah, and I think
no such thing as bad weather, just bad clothing.
Noted.
And that applies to us. Put a stupid blanket on your lap if you have to, right? And get outside. And that was one of the accountability pieces that I asked you to include in my program, was to get outside. And I think I got to a 13-day streak without breaking it. And then I broke it, and I'm trying to get back up to that 13-day again. And it really makes a difference, that accountability piece, and the accountability to each other, and being able to cheer each other on. When I was a gym rat, when I was training for triathlons, and I had a group of people that I trained with, and we were accountable to each other. And you knew Nancy was going to show up, so you had to show up. You knew Steve was going to be there, so he's counting on you to be there, so you have to show up. And being in a place where there is not a community of people with disabilities, me living in little rural southwestern Ontario, and then add COVID on top of that, when you can't even get out to a regular gym. So being able to work out at home, I feel for all of the gym owners and operators and people who love to go to the gym, but we still have to make it happen, and making it not complicated. And just moving your body is something that I knew, but I just keep coming. It's like I'm on a hamster wheel of going back to realizing, oh yeah, I just need to move my body. I just need to move my body. And I had a couple of days last week that I didn't move my body, and I had 0 active minutes on my Fitbit, and looked back and went, oh yeah, those were pretty crappy days that I didn't move my body. And
so intertwined. That movement changes everything.
It does.
Just even turning on one song and dancing for 3.5 minutes will change everything. And so having those anchors that you can go back to, of like an anchor song that, like, as soon as you hear it, it's like, oh, game on, right? Like for me, it's Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. You turn that on and I'm like, like I go to town. I love that song, and it does something for my soul. And so finding things like that it's like, I'm down in the dumps right now, but all I got to do is push play, and finding things like that are really going to help you. But I loved what you said about accountability, and it reminded me of one of my beautiful mentors that I met in Maui. She's one of the first people I met, and she just had this beautiful way of looking at life. And she said, only we can heal ourselves, but we cannot do it alone. And I think that that's the key. Only we can do it, right? Only we can show up. No one can show up for us. And that's the cool thing also about fitness, is that, when you get results, they're your results.
Yeah.
You earned every single piece of it. But we can't do it alone. We can't do it without accountability. Me leading this group is my accountability. I got to stay game on. And it's been the best thing for me. I went through a crazy year last year, not just COVID, but really personally. And it was the group that was like, kept me on track, kept me going on those hard days too. So you got to find a group that speaks your language. And if you don't get it from me, get it somewhere. Right? Like, it doesn't matter where you get it, just get it.
And get it as many places as you can too, right? Like I go to physiotherapy when I can, and my therapist, Mark, especially recently, because I don't see him very often because of COVID, there's only been certain times when I've been able to get there. And he looks at me and he says, "You're not even the same body you used to be." And that just like fills me with pride of what I am doing is working. He says, "Whatever you're doing, just keep doing it," right? It's working, just keep doing it.
I love that.
Yeah.
My goal for Disability Icon is that it becomes something that the personal trainers, the physical therapists, the physio, occupational therapists are pushing for their clients to do, so that it makes their job easier.
Yes.
When we show up and see them once or twice a month, and we haven't done anything else in between, their job is so freaking hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time. when you have someone like you that is like doing the workouts, showing up, their body's improving, their endurance is improving, all these things, their job is so easy.
And so like how I'm trying to get myself in position here. So how easy can it be is just with a stretchy band. And it doesn't even have to be attached to anything, right? Like this is one of the hardest things, Sarah, is just having my arms out in front and keeping my core engaged.
So let's do this together with everyone, and I'll do it without weight.
Okay.
And make Julie work for it.
Okay.
So the putting your hands out in front of you is a hard thing to do. If you have a spinal cord injury, you know how hard it is. But to do that, you guys, you're going to have to really focus on your core. So before we do it, I'm going to have you sit up straight in your chair, really, really get straight, get aligned in your chair. And now I want you to do some visualization first. The first thing is you're going to visualize your belly button. And I want everything around it to go into the belly button. This is the best way I can describe it. So your lower abs. And if you have, I don't care where your injury level is, I don't want you to hear you say, I can't do that. That's below my level.
You can.
Not do that.
You can inside your head. And if you don't have an injury, I want you to do this with us too. You're sitting, pull in your core, bring in that belly button.
Pull it all in, all towards the belly button. If you have to, close your eyes, really, really draw it up from below into the belly button. The sides, almost bring it from around your back and then from above, and really crunch into that belly button. You should be feeling your body engage. You should be feeling a bit of a buzz around that belly button and that core. You should be feeling it even if you don't feel it, okay? So crunch inward. And then the key is to keep your neck as loose as possible.
Oh, so hard.
It's so hard. But if you can, engage from back here, not so much holding your neck. And then I want you to push out as far as you can at this time, holding sort of like a ball in front of you. And now draw it back in. Do it again. Now this time, keep your hands about right here. So if you have to come out wider, stay where you can keep them close. So Julie, keep your hands together and then go out as far as you can with keeping them this close. And then hold for 3, 2, 1, and back. Hard. And that's where I started. Okay, so it's possible, you guys. I'm a T4. Okay, and then come out front and back.
And this is super improved for me too.
Yes.
Those of you that are watching as I can't breathe and do this at the same time.
And then the next one, I want you to scoop it up in front of you. Come up over the head. Good job, Julie. Do it one-handed if you have to. Amazing. I feel like I'm mirrored in my...
I know, it's funny being backwards, isn't it?
Adjusting. I'm like, stay centered. Okay, so come out, so scoop out in front of you. And then let it go. This one I like to do with a little bit of a visualization. So if you've thought of your goal that I talked about in the beginning, bring that goal in between your hands. Rub your hands together. Give them some warmth. Give them some energy. Remind yourself that all the energy that you need is already within you. You can create that energy just like you're doing right now. Feel it in your hands. Feel that warmth. That's all your energy you've already got inside of you. Now take that goal that you've got in your mind of what you want. Be it as vain as you want, be it as silly as you think it is, it means something to you. Bring it into your hands. Visualize it as if it's already done. Visualize yourself as that already. Now, scoop your hands from below, scoop that goal, hold it, engage it, bring energy to it, bring it up over your head, hold it above your head, and then I want you to set it free. Because goals come with flexibility. Because so often we get really, really attached to the way things always are, and nothing changes if nothing changes. I'm going to say that till the day I die. If you don't change, that goal is not going to take place. And so we have to really remain flexible. Hold the goal. If the goal's not happening, don't change the goal, change the approach. And that's why I have you set it free. Because for whatever reason, you need to change your approach so that it can take place, so that it can happen. Hold the goal, maintain the goal. Don't change the goal if it's not happening. Change the approach. Do something different. Remain flexible. Try to adjust what you're doing in order to make that goal take place. Make sense? I hope that offered something to people. But knowing that there's always a place you're going to start and always a place you're going to end up if you hold true. I never thought I could have a dent in my arm. All those years being a gym rat, never had a dent. Never. All those years being a gym rat, never did I do a pull-up. Now I can rack out 3 sets of 8, no problem.
I love doing pull-ups. Love it.
Feel so sexy and strong. I love those too. Amazing.
I have a video of me doing pull-ups on my YouTube. So if you want to see how you do a pull-up when you use a wheelchair, hop on over there and watch. Cynthia's here, and so is Cheryl. Hi, Cynthia. Cheryl, thank you for coming. She says she's found it so important to have a trainer who isn't afraid to be creative. I've had trainers who underestimate my abilities and the groups that I'm working, muscle groups. And it doesn't need to be complicated. So true. Doesn't need to be complicated. Sometimes I just come in here just to move, like if it's wet outside or whatever, and I play around with my stretchy bands and see what I can do to make things just feel strong. And they're just stretchy bands.
They're so easy. They're so easy. And there's a couple different ones you can get. Julie really loves those that she can wrap around and do things. I like ones with handles and the clips.
Yep. I just got some of those.
That you like.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the one I prefer. She usually uses the other ones. So change the approach. If you're like, I can't stand working with that band, try another band, right?
Or do it with free weights.
And the free weights are huge. So I get asked a lot about how heavy and progressing. I have been doing my own program now for almost, did I just reach 3 years? I think I'm at 3 years. I should have had a birthday for it. I've been doing it now for a while. Let's just say that. And I still use only 5 pounds. And the reason why is because I don't want to bulk. I want to sculpt. Mm-hmm. And so get yourself, I have a 3 pound and a 5 pound. And so I use them interchangeably depending on the muscle. There's some muscles that are smaller, like a rear delt or whatever, and I'll go to a 3. But the key is that you can make 5 pounds feel like 50. And if you hold and engage, and again, go back to visualization. I do a lot of working out with my eyes closed and just keep that contracted the entire time.
And talk about posture too, because that's the thing about using something that is heavier is sometimes that's what it does is it puts us off kilter and we end up with bad posture when doing the exercises, right?
Yeah. Well, I get almost everyone that starts the programs messages me this same message. And they're like, when is it going to get harder? Because it feels really easy. Yes, it does. Because we're kind of creating this foundation below the skin that you don't really recognize at first. And it's all postural in the beginning. It is really about getting symmetrical, getting the shoulders, the ears, go to a mirror and sit up to the mirror and see if it is your ear, the middle of your shoulder, middle of the hip, all lined up into one line. If it's not, then you need to make an adjustment. And usually it's going to come from that belly button exercise to really engage and sit up straight and sit up tall, release the neck, because so often we're sitting on our bellies, basically.
And I'm always leaning on my left side. So when I start to do an exercise, that's one of the things that I always try and check and that's why having the mirrors has really helped me, is I'm are my shoulders level, because this is what I do naturally.
Yep. It's so, if you can have a mirror when you're working out, even better.
Yeah.
And we've got a couple girls that actually like to do workouts in just their like underwear and sports bra. They like to actually see the body working and moving and flexing and engaging and all those good things. So, kind of whatever works for you.
Yeah. Right? Like, do it, right? That's my message. And I think that's your message too, is you have to show up.
Yeah. And the calls. Let's talk about the calls for a second, because you're the one that said it. And I'm like, oh, you are so right. The ones that show up to the calls are the ones that have the results, period. Mm-hmm. It is such great accountability. It's community. And I think that it bears mentioning that, when we're injured later in life, there is this feeling of not belonging, at least for me. And I've heard it from a lot of girls too, that I don't really belong in my old life anymore. They don't understand me. But when I think of disability community as a whole, I don't belong there either. And sadly, it's because we've got a lot of stereotypes of what disability is, right? We've got those plugged into our brains. Mm-hmm. And the problem with stereotypes is that if you're not careful, you become them, because you think subconsciously it's what you're destined for.
Mm-hmm. I can't, therefore I can't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so we start as a whole in the disability community, and you see it because there are a plethora that are the stereotype. Unfortunately, I'm just going to be very blunt, but I remember it happening to me. I remember thinking one day, because when I was injured, I wouldn't look at a full length mirror because I belonged up here, but I didn't belong down here. And it was so hard because I was like, I don't belong there. And there's nothing I can do to change belonging there. At least I thought in my head. So I must have to become this new community. And you start to lose yourself a little bit. You don't go to the gym because you don't feel like you can't do it. You don't wear the sexy clothes because you don't feel like you're not supposed to. You don't do all these things because you don't feel like you're supposed to. And then slowly you start to become the stereotype. So don't become the stereotype. Because one, we aren't the stereotype, right? We are who we are. We're all individuals. We all bring something really special and unique and different. But it's us figuring out what that is for us.
And let's just blow up that stereotype, right?
Yeah.
Like, blow it up. We all have ability and something to offer, and the ability to make ourselves feel whole. But the only way you do that is if you show up for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's not complicated. Just decide to show up. Mm-hmm. It's been so fun talking to you, Sarah. I'm glad that you're like on the same continent as me now, and we're a little bit closer in time zones.
The time zone is killing me. There are not many things I don't love about Maui, but the time zone is killing me. Runs in Maui time.
I really had to stretch my brain when it came to figuring out when I was going to talk to you, because anyways, we're a little bit closer now. And I know all of the Canadian disability icons are very happy that you're even closer to them. Most of them are in Alberta. So shout out to all of my Alberta girls. Woo, Canadians, girls.
Icons, man. Like, we are 25 girls strong right now. And if you are in it and you're watching this and you haven't shown up to the calls yet because you're a bit nervous, please come. I can't wait to meet you. Yeah. There's so many that I still haven't gotten to see on the calls, but I see your check-ins. I see you working out. It's amazing. But my goal this year is to really blow this up. And so if you are watching this and you want to give it a try and you want to see what it's all about, you can totally experience your whole first month free. So if you go to verticalblonde.com, thank you, Julie, for that. Right there, verticalblonde.com, it is all listed on the website. Just go to the VB Fitness part of it, and right there you'll see disability icon. You'll see the link. You can click it, and it includes a first month free. So, and then after that, it's really affordable too. So
I was going to start our live today by saying, be prepared for some shameless self-promotion from both of us, because it's made such a difference in how I feel. And I want you to know that, Sarah, like, working with you has been amazing. And now you are my friend, and life is good. Life is good.
Thank you so much. And what's been really cool is watching you. The woman that showed up in the beginning, that nerve pain was like an anchored excuse too, right? Like it was, you're like, the pain's too much today, pain's too much. It was really hard in the beginning. But don't you notice that the more you move, the less nerve pain you have?
Yeah. And like, it's certainly not gone, but I feel like I own it rather than it owning me.
Yeah.
And you develop strategies, and you move more, and you change where your brain is at to try and redirect whatever, neuropathic pathways are happening at the time. And moving has been a big part of that for me. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think, it's so important to think about that wherever your focus goes, your energy is going to go. Right? Like if you've got a raging headache and all you're saying is like, I got a headache, my head hurts, my head hurts, my head hurts, my head hurts. But the moment like you get a phone call or like something interesting's on TV or you get distracted with something, all of a sudden you're like, oh, my head was killing a while ago. Now, like it's not even there.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm managing.
So distracted.
Yeah.
And I think that so often we focus on what we can't do. We focus on how bad we hurt. We focus on, the fact we're going to look stupid. We feel like we're going to look stupid or not know what to do. We focus on that so much, and we're missing out. We're missing out on feeling good. We're missing out. I mean, I tell you that the difference in the girls showing up on those calls from when I first met them, like, I don't even know who you are anymore. And that is a good thing. You are completely shifted from this old you, and you are confident, and you're wearing different clothes, and you're wearing your hair differently, and like how is that?
It's funny because like I feel like I was confident before. I don't ever feel like confidence was an issue for me, but it's just now I'm even more confident. Like, cool. And Chris is saying disability icons is so amazing. I look forward to my workouts, the accountability, the support, the feedback, and the results. And Chris only just started this month, and she already is seeing results in her ability to hold herself like side to side in her chair. And she's texting me saying, I'm doing this workout. She's posting saying, I'm dancing. And like to dance as a workout is like one of the most fun things you can do. And Cynthia is saying, distraction is the best medicine for nerve pain. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
for sure.
So keep moving your bodies, ladies and gentlemen. And you've got more resources that you can find with Sarah's website, verticalblonde.com. And please check out my YouTube as well. You can follow me there. You can check out my accessibility resources. I got lots of exciting things happening right now. I may have gotten an email from our provincial Ministry of Accessibility. So that's kind of exciting too. We'll see what happens. I don't know if I should have said that or not, but I did. Too late. Yeah, it is exciting. So things are happening, folks. Thank you for being here. It's been a blast. Sarah, I have a feeling maybe we should do this again.
For sure. Oh, we have
Charlie.
We got a guest.
Hey, buddy.
I'm almost done. Okay. Thank you so much.
to go on a walk.
I know. We're going to go do a walk. We've got a park that's
Awesome.
by us. We love to do our walk to the park. Maybe we'll hit Starbucks on the way. Mama loves her coffee. So
Yeah.
we're almost done.
Likewise.
Thank you so much.
Wait, Mommy.
What?
Have a great.
I go this way.
I
I
know.
come this way.
It's mirrored. It's so
It's messing
weird.
with your mind, isn't it, Charlie?
Perfect.
Ah,
Charlie is my hair inspiration these days. Got the cool
nice. Okay, gonna go. Have a great day. Thank you, everybody, for watching Building Without Barriers Live. We'll check you out next week. I think we're going to be talking to, I hope we're going to be talking to Bean Gill from Ryu Paralysis Recovery Center in Edmonton. Yes, come and see what they are doing because it is wicked, wicked, wicked. Have a great day, everybody.
I freaking love Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do this again. Julie, this was such a pleasure. Love
Take
you.
care.
Remember,
Love you
guys,
too.
set those goals that stir your soul. Use the
Absolutely.
pain as the best motivation. Aloha.
Bye.